Good morning. It's Monday, and we're starting a new week today in Plantersville. It is a little bit overcast outside right now. We had a lot of rain and thunderstorms last night. It got a little nasty at times, and it's just that time of the year. Those things are going to start happening late in the evening, and so anyway, we're glad you've joined us this morning. If you look at me and you look like, say, hey, Brother Danny's happy, I want to tell you why. My wife fixed lasagna yesterday for lunch, and I was so happy to have it. And it was the best she's ever made, by the way. I was so happy to have it. I ate it for supper last night too, so I could live on that stuff. If you put it in an IV, I could probably take it. But anyway, if I had to live on three things to eat, I could live on lasagna, pizza, and anything grilled that's within reason. And so I'm a happy guy this morning, eating a lot of lasagna yesterday. I didn't put on that many pounds after eating all of it. But anyway, we're going to talk about Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3 this morning. This verse makes me happy too, and I hope it'll make you happy. So turn there for just a second, and then we'll get into it and then end this up. The Bible is very clear in Isaiah. One of the reasons I believe it's clear is because Isaiah was talking to people who would not listen to him. And Isaiah was telling them the truth. He was telling them everything they needed to know, and they rejected it. So it was on them, but he was being faithful. So anything I read in Isaiah, the Lord puts there is so encouraging because I know it's the truth. It's like that with the whole Bible, by the way, but especially when I read Isaiah. In seminary, I spent a lot of time in that book because I had to do an independent study on it. So I spent a lot of time studying that, the first 40 chapters of it. And the one thing I found is it's really encouraging. It's scary in places, but it's encouraging. So when you balance all that, when people don't listen and what God will do, and although it still helps. But here he gives us some encouragement and some comfort for today. He says in verse 3, you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. For those of you that watched the service yesterday, whether you were here as part of the worship team or outside or watching on Facebook, I gave you 5 words to remember. And I hope you can remember those this morning. I will tell you those words in just a second in case you've forgotten. But I want to talk to you about this word trust here. The word trust in the Hebrew here means reliance. It means placing your belief on a person or object. I don't like to think of God as an object. I like to think of God as a person. But you put your place and you place your trust and your belief in what he says. And it even goes as far in the definition to say it makes you confident. So your confidence comes from your trusting in God. So what are you trusting in this morning? Those 5 words I gave you yesterday, I hope you're trusting in those right now because those are very important. And I'm giving you a chance right now, to remember those. So keep up, okay? Sometimes we trust in ourselves, but I want you to know that's limited because we're sinful. Our human nature gets in the way. Self cannot do what God can do. Sometimes we trust in our job or our security and those kind of things. But those things are finite. They don't last. They don't last. One day, when God sees fit, I'm going to have to stop pastoring one day. I'm looking forward to that, but one day it will happen. Whether God takes me out of here by letting me die, or by Jesus coming back, or just getting too old to do the job, or whatever it might be. But the thing is, those things are not going to last, but I can trust in him because he holds all things in his hands, and he's going to take care of everything. Sometimes we trust in our possessions, but possessions don't last either. They wear out. They wear out. And then sometimes we trust in the power or the security we have in our job and in our relationships and those kind of things. But the Bible tells us our lives are just like a mist. They only last a short time, but eternity lasts forever. And then sometimes we trust in what we can do in ourselves. I can do so many things. Well, you know what? I'm not perfect. And I'm going to mess things up. And I have messed things up a lot in my life. So we can't trust in those things. What do we trust in? We trust in God because of the 5 words I gave you yesterday. And here they are in case you haven't remembered them. God's promises are always kept. God's promises are always kept. That's what I trust in right now. Because looking around my world that I live in, we're dealing with this COVID mess. God promises he's going to take care of this one day. I trust in that. I look around and wonder when we're going to gather together and be quote unquote normal again. That may happen. It may not be happening anytime soon. But God doesn't take away from God's promises. They're always kept. God's promises are always kept. He whose mind is stayed on you is kept in perfect peace. Why? Because he trusts in you. Isaiah wrote that and sung it as a song so the land of Judah would know who they could trust in. So I hope that you know who you can trust in this morning. Let me remind you to pray for 3 people that are here. If you know these people here in our church family, you will know this. But those of you who like to pray for anybody, if you'll pray for Sandra Estes, she is in the hospital right now. She has got a spine infection. They can't figure out what to do. They're giving her antibiotics, and then today she's going to be seen by a neurologist and go through some other things. So pray for Steve, her husband, and for Sandra and the rest of the family right now, and just pray that God will show them an answer. He's going to do that because he always keeps his promise. He doesn't leave us nor forsake us. He's going to take care of Sandra. He's going to take care of Steve. We got to trust in that. We got to pray that. Pray for J.C. Kelly and pray for his condition with his foot to heal. And then most of you know that Johnny Hughes fell Friday or Saturday, whichever day it was. I think it was Saturday. He fell and broke his ankle in 3 places, and he will go back to the doctor and have that evaluated this week. And it looks like he's going to have a lot of surgery coming up to get that fixed. So pray for him and Judy and their family. Those are 3 things you can pray for. If you ain't got anything else to pray for those folks. They need it. We all need it. But I hope you have a good day. We will see you tomorrow. I hope your Monday is good for you. And don't forget, God's promises are always kept. Let that encourage you today. Y'all have a good day.